Alright, let's make something. I think I want to make like a guitar melody. Let me find a guitar. I'll just start with a nylon, I think. We are at 121 BPM, and it looks like the key is F minor, I think. Okay, I think I want to start with this like as a, like a starting point for a progression. So let's add to this. So maybe we change it the second time in each one. So maybe this comes down one, and then maybe we do the same with this. This is kind of dark sounding, and this is not. So maybe I change this note. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this. Try this. Okay, let's start with this. Let's start adding like some extra notes to create like chords all happening at once instead of over time. So let's try just duplicating some of these notes. So I'm going to duplicate the first and the third note and pitch them up an octave. So let's do that. And then we can add like a note in the middle where these are. These notes, and then we'll just see if they still work, and if not, we'll change them. And then in the second half over here, we can take the same chords and then just like move the timing. So let's do something like this. Do do do. I want this one to go down. I think I like that better than having them just play. Okay, I think I want to just go with this idea instead of having all the chords play at once. I think it sounds better to me. So let me finish like fixing this part of it, and then I'm going to copy it over, and then we'll change this half a little bit. Okay, so let's copy that over. So this will be the beginning. So how can we change the second half? Maybe we can add some little flavor notes. So maybe this, probably add an extra note here. So here I'm just playing the same note again after it already played. Because sometimes if you just repeat a note, it sounds pretty cool, even though you're not really changing necessarily the progression, still can sound cool. Like right there, that worked. Even though it's not really the same exact idea, but it's still cool having like the same note play twice in a row sometimes. It's really pretty. Okay, so before I humanize everything and put effects on stuff, I want to like fill out the melody. So let's add another guitar, and I think I want like a dub, like a little short sound. I don't know what the correct word for it is. Alright, something like that. Ooh, yeah, yeah. And I think I want to put a bunch of effects on this one as well, like a bunch of delay especially, and chorus to really push it in the back and really make it like reverberate. So reverb basically. And then I could either change it in the second half or just let it repeat. Or what I could do, because I hardly ever do this, but I did it in a beat recently because I was using a like a reference, is I could just leave that part blank and just repeat this in the beginning, or have this play just at the beginning phrase, and then have like a maybe either silence or a different instrument kind of fill out that space. So maybe we take that part out. Or I could spread here. This may be another idea, is I could spread the idea out. So I could either halftime it, but that might like leave out some information that I have here. The alternative is I could just take all of this and stretch it. What would that look like? So what's on the 3 here is going to be on the 5. So something like this. But I think I want to keep the like speed of these little quick parts the same, so I'm going to move these back. That's kind of cool. So it's like I have the idea, I may not keep this, I may change it, but it's like this is the original idea and this is the idea, but like with a lot of the notes spread out. This is cool in theory, but it doesn't sound like it matches time-wise with everything, so let me try this. And then for like the second half of this, we can just copy the second half of this first part and do something like this. Okay, so like I said, on this muted strat, I want to add like a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to start with chorus. Okay, let's try and make these sound a little bit more realistic. And by that I mean, currently every single note is playing exactly on the grid, and every single note is playing the exact same velocity. So it just sounds like a robot playing. We can change that though. So let's go to the piano roll. So this is the nylon. So the first thing I'm going to do is Control A to highlight everything, and then Alt-R pulls up the randomization menu. These are the settings that I like. I like to have bipolar checked on, and I'm really only changing the velocity as well as the release. Let's do Alt-S, which is going to strum any notes that happen to be on top of each other. So I'm going to exit out and zoom out a little bit. So I think we have some that are kind of on top of each other. So like these, for example. So if I zoom in and then hit Alt-S, we can see that they're not exactly on top of each other anymore. And you can change the the settings for this and get different, obviously different settings. I like to have it pretty mild, accept, and I'm also alternating directions. And then I like to further randomize the timing. So to do that, I'm going to hit Alt-Q, and I've got the dotted eighth note grid selected. You can select a lot of these and get pretty decent results, but I like the results I get from this one. And then to get randomization, if this is all the way on, you're perfectly quantized to the dotted eighth note grid or whatever grid you selected. And if it's all the way off, it means that you haven't moved your notes at all. They're exactly where they were before. So if you put it somewhere in between, what it does is it just kind of picks some of them to kind of either move forwards or backwards to get closer to that dotted eighth note grid. And it kind of mimics randomness. So if we zoom in now, we can see that that one's been moved forward, that one's moved backwards. These two have been moved forwards, this one's moved back. So you can see that, things have been moved. And then we can further accentuate that and kind of grab some of these at random. At least that's the idea. And just kind of move them back a little bit more. Just kind of do that. Okay. And now we've more or less randomized this. Before I do the same thing for the other, I'm going to go ahead and save this pattern. So I'm just going to Control-C, Control-V, and then let's go to the other one. So the muted strat, let's do the same thing. Control-A, Alt-R, not the timing, the velocity. And then Alt-S will strum any notes that happen to be on top of each other. And then Alt-Q will randomize the timings. And then we can kind of accentuate that a little bit and then move them back. Okay, I'm going to take some of these lower notes that are on the downbeats and pan them. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other ones. And I'm going to go back to the nylon guitar and do the same thing. I'm going to take some of the lower notes that are on the downbeats and pan them left and right. Except I'm going to do it to the opposite direction. Frequency, not too low. This one is going to be a little bit lower. As we can see here, there's more information down here. So because of that, I'm going to separate the nylon guitar. I want to add something that's like a constant noise or sound, because there's a lot just happening and changing all the time. Oh, that's cool. Because I have this solo, I'm also going to separate this one. Okay, so here is what everything sounds like together.